Welcome to this presentation of how do you enable over 50 plus services to scale your education counseling setup using Bodhami's platform. Now, Bodhami has multiple products in terms of career counseling, skill assessment, scientific recruitment, and online learning. Now, as part of that, we will also teach you on how do you enable those 50 plus services using our individual platforms. When we look at today's presentation, we will first focus on an approach which is based on the end-to-end student life cycle and what the student needs as interventions during that life cycle. And then look at if you as a counselor has to support that student in this particular journey, right from the time the student comes to you till the time the student gets the respective job, how do you enable that journey and set up your services around that journey? And this is what we're going to cover today in detail. If you look at the student journey can be divided into 4 distinct parts. Stage 1 is assessment. Stage 2 is mentoring and guidance. Stage 3 is upskilling and learning. And stage 4 is placement. As part of assessment, whenever the student or a graduate or a professional comes to you, the first thing we should do is look at an assessment of that particular individual. What is this particular student or a graduate or professional good at in terms of skills, in terms of interest, in terms of personality? Particularly for those who are graduates and professionals looking for a particular job, you also have to look at something called as competency. Competency is nothing but what are the traits required for doing that particular job. Let's say, for example, if I'm good at sales, then can I talk effectively or communicate effectively or negotiate effectively or do the right sales pitch, for example. So these are kind of competencies which can be involved in a sales kind of a job. So just to summarize, whenever somebody comes to you as a counselor or a professional, you have to do an assessment, whether it is a career assessment, whether it is a skill assessment, or whether it is a competency assessment. After you do an assessment, you will be very clear about this particular individual. What is he good at, his interest and personality and so on. So using that, then comes stage 2, which is mentoring and guidance. Now, if we know that as part of a career assessment, this particular individual is really good at a particular career, then we have to find out a path of how can this person from this point onwards go to that particular career. So that is called as mentoring and guidance, which can involve things like career coaching, where you coach that particular student to go to that particular career, mentoring at different points in time to support this particular student or individual, life coaching, which means not only teach about normal skills, but softer aspects about life skills. For example, how to be effective time manager, how to be disciplined in life, for example, which will help in the overall fitment of that particular individual and success of that individual in that career. Also look at aspects around personal counseling, where you not only look at a skill-based or a career-based counseling, but on a personal note, connect with the student to counsel the student. After you do mentoring and guidance, you will lay down a path that this is the path you need to take in terms of the kind of interventions you need to do, in terms of the skill upliftment you need to do, in terms of exercises you need to do. Post which comes stage number 3. Stage number 3 is nothing but actually doing that work, which is actionables, which is upskilling and learning. Now, on that path, if you really want to upskill and learn, there'll be multiple interventions which will be required. Aspects like certifications, which the student has to take around certain skills. video courses, live courses, preparation for entrance exams, or subject related preparation, for example, physics, chemistry, mathematics, or soft skills related aspects, for example, increasing communication or courses around memorizing, for example, or simple test series related to subjects like physics test series or chemistry test series, or your entrance exam for SAT or NEET entrance exam, or IITs and so on. So once the preparation is done, which means this particular student or a professional upskills, then comes the stage number 4, which is placement. Am I, as a student or a graduate or a professional, good enough to be placed in a particular job? Am I ready for the corporate? What about interview preparations? Am I able to answer those interviews better? What about resume preparation, for example? What about certain jobs and my fitment for those jobs? So around that placement, additional support or interventions may be required related to corporate readiness of that particular individual or a graduate, finding out if you are or you can be the right candidate, or if you in general as a counselor also want to go into recruitment and look at recruitment or job placement related services in addition to the work you're doing, you can also look at job placements or recruitment related services which can be enabled, which can also help you in this journey for a particular student. Now, if you divide this journey right from the time the student comes to you till the time the job placement is done, this journey can be divided into 6 to 10, 11th to 12th, graduation, higher education, corporate readiness, and then finding a job or self-employment. In 6th to 10th, the kind of services or support which a particular student needs is in terms of stream level counseling, whether a science is better or arts or commerce is better. In terms of skill assessment, finding out what are the current skills and if I as a student can uplift my skills so that I can do really well holistically and get into better streams and better careers. Life coaching in terms of soft skills and life related skills. Career coaching to get to the right career. Personal counseling, which is required by students. Subject level preparation, which is a must, especially when it comes to the core subjects. And live and video courses, which are required as part of tuitions and training. Similarly, for students who are into their 11th and 12th, now they want to look at a career stream, example, engineering and medicine. They also want support on looking at skill assessments and uplifting their skills to make their profiles holistic. Similarly, career coaching and mentoring, personal counseling. Entrance preparation is a very big subject here because most of these 11th and 12th standards want to prepare for their own entrance, which is engineering entrance or MBA entrance or BA entrance, etc. Abroad studies, a lot of them really want to study abroad. So that is also support which is required in terms of abroad studies and international reports. Subject preparation and live and video courses, which are also required for such students to upskill themselves. When it comes to graduation, the graduates really look at finding out after graduation what is the right job for them. So career assessment and counseling. Finding out what are the new age skills and certifications they should take, basically, so that they are ready for the corporate. Also, in terms of any specific exam preparations which needs to be done, say for example, bank PO exams or other exams which are there. Higher education is almost similar as graduation, again, where new age skills and certification and life coaching and mentoring is required for such higher education graduates. Now, once you graduate, it is very important that you become corporate ready. As you have known, one of the surveys says from NASSCOM that 80% of general engineers are not even fit for employment, basically, in corporates, which means there is a lot of skill gap in terms of where the student is and what is the ask which is there in the industry or in corporate. So to bridge that skill gap, there is this support or intervention which is required, which is corporate readiness. Now, in corporate readiness, you first has to assess how good the student is and what skills the student has. As part of that, you can also look at not just an assessment on their aptitude, but also can look at their assessments on their technical readiness, how good they are in certain technologies. Also can look at competencies in terms of core competencies required for certain jobs like sales or marketing or operations or HR or management and so on. So once you know that this particular student is having this particular gaps in this assessment you have taken for a certain job, then you can always look at upskilling that student using certain kind of interventions, whether it is a video course or a live course, or say actionables you want to give in terms of assessments or assignments, for example. Now, for such students, corporate assessments and interventions in terms of video live courses is very much required. Similarly, aspects like softer skills related to preparation for interviews, how do you answer group discussion, how do you prepare your resume, or preparing this particular individual for a certain job. So job related questions which are asked for, let's say somebody wants to apply in Yahoo or a Google or a Wipro or Infosys. So certain job related questions and making them prepared for those kind of questions which are asked for a certain job. That also can be a good space to look at in terms of corporate readiness. Now, when it comes to the actual job or employment, if you are a career counselor, also looking at guiding professionals on their right job switching, you can also look at that kind of services, or job placements, placing the students on a respective job. So you also can expand your services into recruitment by playing consultant role for companies, for example. Learning and upskilling or training needs analysis on the job is also very much required. So if you are somebody who also wants to get into corporate training or corporate learning or needs analysis on training and all, it is also a good space to be in, especially for people who are already in their job and you want to improve them in terms of the kind of work they do. Now, how do you support this end-to-end journey? If you look at the student life cycle and the kind of products which we offer, we have these 8 products or platforms which we have. First one is the career counseling platform, where we look at students and college and professionals counseling around their careers. The second platform we have is recruitment and candidate selection platform, where we can find out who is the right person for a particular job, or if you are fit for a particular job in terms of the cutoffs which are given by the job. Then we look at competency and skill assessment platform. So in this, we look at the overall competency for you in terms of your fitment as a student or a graduate for a particular job, and also what can be the learning interventions to get you to that particular job. So those aspects are covered in the skill and competency assessment platform. Learning management system, which is predominantly hosting your own video, live and assessment courses. You can also sell it on the marketplace. Teaching on Bodhami model, where you can register yourself as a vendor or a teacher on our platform and then start building your courses, which goes through a very stringent evaluation of our content team, and that can be sold on our platform. Affiliate commission model, where if you sell our products, you have to first register as an affiliate, and for every sale which is made, we give you a percentage of commission, which is predefined across products. Partnership model is where if you already have your website and you want to have our link of career test on your website directly so that people can start taking career test, and for whatever sale which happens, you can get a commission. This is where partnership model comes into play, and it is generally for institutions which have a very high footfall of students. And direct customer model is where directly customers would come on Bodhami and they would buy services from Bodhami. If you look at the career counseling platform, we have identified use cases where you can define your services around the career counseling platform. Now, particularly for students, you would have seen in the career counseling program as well that you can offer the stream selection report, career assessment report. For those who are going international, the international study abroad report. We also have a very shorter version of the report, which is called as a short career report. And generally around career counseling, you can define packages where you can also offer admission consulting in terms of what are the right colleges, what are the right streams, and how do you get to that particular streams, what are the examinations required and all. And those details are already mentioned in our career library, and you can use the library to define your own services around admissions consulting over and above the reports. Similarly, for the graduates, you can look at career assessment report. People who want to go international, you can look at international study reports. And for a particular international study report, you can look at general services, as we have mentioned, around the international admissions and so on. And then you can look at career-based learning report and short career reports. Professionals, there's a little more additional services which are required apart from just the normal career assessment report. Career assessment is typically where people at the early careers want to look at a job, but people who are already in their careers would look at a job switch report if they want to switch a job, or if they want to try for a certain job, like say sales or marketing, then they would look at something like a competency assessment report. I want to assess competencies, how good I am in terms of a fitment to marketing or sales, given that particular target's competency already, which is defined. And if you look at the target segment for these services to reach out to these students or graduates or professionals, these are some examples of whom you can reach out to. You can reach out to existing career counseling academies or centers to offer your services as a career counselor. You can reach out to and partner with tuition centers because a lot of students already come there. You can post yourself about your services on freelancing websites to source work directly. You can reach out to Lions or Rotary clubs because these people cater to a lot of students and run programs for students as part of Rotary and Lions Club. You can look at schools and colleges, which is anyway a big market to approach. But the best way to approach such schools and colleges is looking at doing free webinars or career counseling sessions, or through their teachers approach the schools or colleges. You can look at government bodies because a lot of these government bodies look at government schools and try to introduce interventions related to career coaching and career counseling. So you can always look at different government bodies around your local setup to tie up with these government bodies and approach this particular local schools. You can look at your own apartments or apartment complexes where there are more than 100 or 200 or 500 families who are staying, and you can cater to such apartment complexes to run career counseling series for such students in these apartments. Direct marketing through Sulekha or Google Business. Franchisee model where you can sublet and offer franchises to others and start looking at monetizing that so that you build a brand for yourself. And then across different localized areas in the city or across the state or across the country, you can roll out a franchising model. You can connect with NGOs because NGOs have a lot of tie-ups already with a lot of schools, and they run initiatives based on charitable trust or charitable funding. So you can always tie up with NGOs and connect with those NGOs to get higher numbers in terms of skill assessments and career assessments. And we have a different pricing for NGOs as well. You can also look at local political influencers which would sponsor such programs in their name to make sure that there are education or educational services are branded in their name, that these are the initiatives they are taking. And you can also, as normal people do, look at social marketing to define the direct marketing. Now, the next platform is around skill and competency assessment platform. And the kind of services you can offer here are quite different. For students, you can look at innovation report. Innovation report is nothing but list of innovation competencies and how innovative you are, because this is an era of where there's a lot of innovation which is taking place in terms of entrepreneurship, for example. So if you want to develop innovation as a subject or as a quotient, you can also define innovation report and cater that to students as well. On the skill and competency assessment, you can also define subject related test reports like physics, chemistry, maths, biology, any kind of subjects, or non-core subjects like language or English, for example, or entrance exams related like SAT or MBA, for example. Any kind of subjects can be tested on our platform. You can also look at technical readiness, because we have a lot of these technical competencies already in our platform where we can evaluate people around C, C++, Java, and a lot of other these technical competencies which are required for engineering or IT students or IT jobs, for example. So how good the students are in terms of their readiness, or graduates are in terms of their readiness of corporate, can be done through our platform. We can also look at science and technology reports where particular science and technology related subjects or competencies can be selected, and this report can be defined and tested. Similarly, entrepreneurship report is something which is new because a lot of people want to do their own startups. So if you want to build skills around entrepreneurship, those entrepreneurship skills are all defined on our platform, and you can select those key entrepreneurship skills and then look at assessment of students and graduates around self-entrepreneurship or self-employment. In terms of graduates, you can look at graduate skill and learning reports, corporate readiness report for graduates, job fitment report where you want to look at a certain job and see if this candidate or graduate would fulfill this particular or get selected in this particular job. Particularly for colleges, when there are students studying in colleges like BA or engineering or MA or BCom, etc. You can define trait-wise corporate readiness report. Example, particularly for engineering, you can look at electrical engineering, computer engineering, mechanical engineering, etc. Similarly with BCom and finance, for example, we have enough competencies to define the respective corporate readiness reports. Entrepreneurship report is very common across all the three platforms, all the three target segments, which are students, graduates, and professionals. For professionals, you can look at life coaching discovery report, where you first discover, if you're doing life coaching, you can have a discovery report which can be defined on a platform, particularly for professionals, where you discover the skills and competencies of that professional, and then you career mentor the particular professional. Employee learning report, where you're already working and you want to find out how good you are in that particular area and want to look at learning improvements on that particular area of the job which you're already working. You can look at employee learning report. Job fitment report for professionals, again, to look at other jobs this particular professional can look at. Entrance exams related to jobs like bank POs can be automated on our platform. Or training needs analysis. If you want to venture out into training and learning, then these also can be automated on our platform. In terms of target segments, it's almost similar to what we had looked at for career counselors. So you can always approach career counseling academies or centers, tuition centers, schools and colleges, government bodies, freelancing websites where you can share your services, Rotaract or Lions Club. You can look at franchising models or NGOs or local political influencers, or corporates and startups for skill and competency assessment. Is a good area to look at, because that's where chunk of skill and competency assessment would be funded. Or you can look at direct marketing through Suleka, Google, or any of the social websites. Learning management system. In terms of services which you can offer live classes, you can offer a test series or assessment test series, or you can look at video classes, or there are other applications also of kind of services you can enable. Now, if you want to do live classes for, let's say, for your students, or for trainings, for example, you can look at that. Or if you want to teach certain subjects, for example, related to schools, like physics, chemistry, maths, you can look at those kind of tuitions also which can be offered as services. You can look at delivering career counseling sessions live through the platform as well, in terms of learning platform. If there is live coaching, discovery workshops, or mentoring sessions, you can deliver it live on our platform as well. In terms of test, the various kind of services you can enable is subject specific test, like physics, chemistry. We have already a database of around 500 to 1000 questions, question bank, which can be easily pulled. Define your own test series for physics, chemistry, biology across standard 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. And you can then start selling your own test series. You can then look at entrance exam specific test series, which can be configured on our platform. Any job related exams like bank officers exams and other exams which are there, so certain exams specific to jobs, those can be configured on the platform and offered as services. Different kinds of learning interventions or learning assessments can be also covered as a test on our platform. On the learning platform, you can also look at video courses. You can create your own skill specific video courses where those skills which are suggested as improvements, then you can sell these upskill or and cross sell these courses, which are skill specific courses, to the student. Specific to jobs, you can define, you can create competency specific video courses. How do you do sales better or marketing better, for example? How do you give a talk better or communicate better? These kind of courses you can create around competencies. You can create courses around life skills, like how do you manage time better, or how do you have discipline better, and then give life courses, life related courses or life skills courses. In terms of some of the other applicability of services, you can start offering free classes to increase your footfalls. You can also start hosting your own certification programs where you can give certifications free of cost, or pay for those certifications, whoever wants to do those certifications. So you can start creating your own custom certifications as well on the platform. You can look at hosting webinars in terms of career counseling and other generic webinars related to, let's say, 21st century skills or skill upliftment, and create instant meetings to talk to individuals or prospects. Again, in terms of such content which you are creating, a good target segment for those are students, tuition centers, whom you are trying to tie up with, colleges, training institutes and mentors who may want to look at the content, professionals, life coaches, NGOs who approach students, and those students would need skill upliftment and skill upliftment related courses, schools, government bodies who have tie-ups with government colleges, to enable, let's say, science or technology or innovation or subject related interventions, or any kind of direct marketing where you can start selling those courses which are creating online through direct channels like Sulekha, Google, or social networks, basically. Recruitment and candidate selection platform. It is typically for evaluating this candidate, whether this candidate would fit the cutoffs for a given job, or if you also want to get into recruitment services in addition to the education services you have, then you can always look at pre-screening of candidates and finding out the best candidates to be then sent out to corporates or startups, basically. So the kind of services you can always look at for students is subject-based test report, or technical readiness for engineering or IT students, or corporate readiness reports, or life skills assessment report. For graduates, you can look at graduates skill and learning reports, corporate readiness reports for graduates, job fitment reports for graduates. For professionals, again, candidate selection report, job fitment report, and exam related reports. And some of the other things you can do on this platform is you can look at recruitment test you can conduct. You can look at grants or scholarships if you want to give through this platform. You can look at that use case as well to automate the use case. Any quotients related reports like emotional quotient measurement for a particular student, using much more bigger competencies, can be automated using this platform as well. So if you want to venture out into additional services related to recruitment, candidate selection, candidate fitment, or want to become a placement agency or a consultant, in addition to the education consultant, you can also look at this platform. And the target segments are almost similar, where you can look at placement agencies, you can look at startups, HR or manpower consultants to offer your services. You can look at students, professionals, tuition centers, colleges, training institutes, life coaches or career mentors, and company recruiters directly. So if you look at what we have spoken, there are 4 different platforms, and each of the platform we looked at what are the services you can enable on the platform and approach those target segments which are given in the platform. And this is just a summary. We will also leave this summary as part of notes so that you can look at this summary. So for career counseling academies or centers or study abroad consultants, if you want to approach as a consultant and offer your services, then you can offer gamut of these particular services: stream selection report, international report, short reports, or career assessment reports, or abroad study counseling, or classes aligned to the reports which are given, or skill specific video courses, or career counseling sessions which you can deliver live, or corporate readiness reports for graduates, or classes aligned to reports given to the students, or entrepreneurship reports, for example. So these are things which can offer if you're trying to partner with larger career counseling academies or study abroad consultants, for example, who are not into career counseling, and you can offer the career counseling for them. For schools and colleges, if you go, then these are the services you can offer: stream selection report, international reports, short reports, career assessment report for 10th and 11th and 12th or graduates, for example, abroad study counseling. You can look at innovation index report, where you can measure innovation among students and college students. You can offer live classes or subject specific test series or subject specific video classes. You can also, for those who are graduates, look at competency specific video courses like marketing or sales, for example, or subject based test reports. You can offer entrance exam specific test series, or skill specific video courses, or deliver career counseling live sessions, and also look at different aspects like training needs analysis report, science and technology reports, or corporate readiness for a particular stream like engineering, or technical readiness for engineering, and so on. So these are the kind of services you can offer for schools and colleges. Similarly, for company recruiters, you can look at candidate selection report. You can help in pre-screening of all the candidates and finding out only the best candidates to forward it. So those can be done using our platform. You can look at job fitment report for professionals and graduates, technical readiness report for engineering and IT students, corporate readiness report for students and engineering. So you can help corporates select the right candidates from colleges if they go for campus placements, etc. Or you can look at question-based reports as well. In terms of placement agencies or manpower consultants, again, candidate selection reports, job fitment reports, technical readiness reports for engineering and IT students, corporate readiness reports for students, and question-based reports. Life coaching is a very dedicated stream. If you want to enter into life coaching or partner with anybody who is a life coaches, these reports will be very helpful for you, which is in terms of life coaching discovery report. Then looking at career-based learning reports or career assessment reports, stream selection reports, competency reports, or life and coaching mentoring sessions you can deliver live on the platforms, live coaches, live courses and skills you can offer on the platform, and competence with specific assessments and videos you can offer on the platform. And last but not the least, if you look at training institutes and if you want to partner with them, then you can offer these kind of services like entrance exam specific test series, or live courses for training institutes, or innovation and entrepreneurship based reports, especially those who want to train on entrepreneurship and innovation, skill specific video courses, subject specific video classes aligned to reports given to students. You can offer career counseling live sessions through the platform, or if you want to create job specific exams like bank officer exams and all, and offer it to training institutes, you can do that, or directly to candidates as well, or trainers as well. You can look at competency specific video courses, subject specific test series. The other things you can enable also is job fitment reports for professionals, particularly for training institutes, job fitment reports for graduates, and technical readiness reports for engineering students or IT students, and corporate readiness reports for graduates, and life skills assessment reports, and entrance exams for different jobs. And for companies, if you are approaching for professionals, particularly training needs analysis report, training assessment reports, employee learning reports, and subject specific certifications or subject specific video courses, or competency based assessments or video courses, and live courses for employees is what you can take on the platform. Now, this is just a library of what are the things you can offer, but what is important is knowing what is that you can do with such a library. And these are the some of the other things you can do with regards to departments and government bodies and tuition or tuition centers whom we want to tie with. You can go through these kind of services you can enable, but what is important is what you should do next with this kind of definition of services. What we believe is you should first look at all the services and what is that you can offer in terms of who is your target segment, whom you want to cater to, what are the services you want to enable from the gamut of services which we have looked at to that particular target segment, and then define your own services and pricing for those services, and also an approach of how do you cater to that particular target segment for this particular services. Now, once you do that as a core definition of service and the target segment you want to cater to and the channels you would have thought through, then you can go to your Bodhami platform and on your common dashboard, just enable that particular platform free of cost. Enablement is free, but we only charge based on per user basis once you start using the platform and the users are enabled on the platform. Now, once you enable the platform on common dashboard, you have to set up that particular product. For example, if I want to assess somebody on innovation, or if I want to create my own physics test or a chemistry test, for example, or if I want to upload video course, so I have to set up this entire product on Bodhami platform. If you go to each of the platform, you can go through the demo videos on the platform to give you a view of how to set up such products on the platform. And then you can take those products and start marketing those products to your target customer. What we will do is, post this, we will also cover how do you use this platform to define all the services we mentioned and give you an example of definition of those services, and then creating your own services and making those services live using each of the Bodhami platforms which are mentioned. So that is something which we will be covering in the next video.